What up, folks? It's your boy Dash back again with another word of the day. Can y'all believe it? It is going to be 2024 in 2 days. In 2 days. That's crazy, right? So, with these last two words, I'm going to put some intention to them. And they're going to be a bit intense, but it's okay. It's okay. It's good information. Don't alarm yourselves. This is good information. Yeah, it's good information. So, yeah. Today's word is season. Ooh, season. And I know we hear about that a lot when we're talking about spirituality and this walk of life that we chose to take. But it's very important because seasons are cycles of life. And seasons always change. Always change. You know, the question is, do you change with them? But 3 things about seasons that I think is very detrimental. They're very detrimental. Be aware of what season you're in. This is very important, y'all. So I need y'all to really hone in here. You know, I be talking that talk, but listen, this right here is important, very important. All of them are important, but this is extremely important. Psalms 1:3 says, "So they grow strong like a tree planted by a stream, a tree that produces fruit when it should and has leaves that never fall. Everything they do is successful." Now, tell me when it comes to, like it states, a tree that produces fruit. Now, those trees produce fruit in season, correct? What happens if you try to plant a tree in the incorrect season? That tree will not reap a harvest. That tree will not grow. And we are that tree that is talking about in the word. We are that tree. And when it should. Now, how do we know if we don't know what season we're in? Genesis 8:22 says, "As long as the earth continues, there will always be time for planting and time for harvest. There will always be cold and hot, summer and winter, day and night on earth. There will always be a time for planting and there will always be a time for harvest." If you try to harvest without a plan, what's going to happen? It's going to fall flat every single time. Every single time. But see, the purpose is not just planning, but using his plan. See, because it says that many are the plans of man, but God guides the steps. So if God is guiding your steps, then the plan that you create in those steps that he's guiding, they're going to be a holy plan. The holy plan that God put you on. That's very important, people. It's very important because, like I said, if you don't know what season you're in, then how can you be intentional with your transition into the next season, which is my next point. How can you be intentional if you don't know what season you're in? But that, again, my next point, be intentional. You have to be intentional, people. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "There is a right time for everything, and everything on earth will happen at the right time." That's a bar right there. There is a right time for everything. And if you don't know what season you're in, how do you know what the timing is? How can you be intentional? And being intentional is making sure that you're aligned with Christ. And when you're aligned with Christ, you'll know. I'm not gonna dwell too much on that in this point because it's part of my next point. But being intentional is so important because every day is an opportunity to be righteous. Every day, even if you were unrighteous yesterday, you can change that today, and that's part of the intention. That's part of the intention. Ephesians 5:15-16 says, "So be careful how you live. Live wisely, not like fools. I mean that you should use every opportunity you have for doing good because these are evil times." Hello. So being intentional is in every season. You should definitely strive and live righteous purposely, on purpose. You can't trip and fall into righteousness. This is intention behind it. This is intention because listen, when we're talking about being righteous, it's not easy, okay? It's not easy because you have all of these holy plans that you have to be in tune with, but then someone who you love does you wrong. Be righteous. Your kid is getting on your nerves and breaking everything in your house. Be righteous. You went to work and they stiffed you on your pay. Be righteous. Now, I ain't saying be dumb and don't be no fool and don't stand up for what you believe in. But in doing that, you can still be righteous. And it's hard to do that sometimes when anger is flying and when emotions are flaring. And that is exactly why you need to be intentional. Because if you don't put intention to it, and putting intention to it is paying attention to how you feel and intentionally not acting out how you feel. That's putting intention to it. And if you're not putting intention to it, those emotions are going to win, and you're going to, for lack of better terms, do something stupid. How many times has it happened to you? It's happened to me. And I know I ain't the only one where you were in your feelings, and because you were in your feelings, you did something that you shouldn't have did. And you had to think about it later on like, man, why I do that? Because you didn't put intention there. You didn't put attention or intention there. See, because in order to get intention, you got to pay attention to what's going on. You got to pay attention to what's going on. Moving on, though, to my next point. You got to listen to God for instruction in every season. See, because this is how you know what season you're in. This is how you add intention to what you're doing. Listening for God. Talking to God, because he will guide you. Ephesians 5:17, right after the 15:16. So don't be foolish with your lives, but learn what the Lord wants you to do. And how do you do that? You spend time with God. You spend time in prayer. You spend time in his word. You spend time in worship. You spend time serving, and he'll speak to you. And I'm a witness. I'm a witness. I have been spoken to by God. And as soon as I started being obedient, then my mind changed. My mind changed. And sometimes, like I said, you will in harvest time, that's when the blessings, that's when everything feels right. But in planting season, that's when it get real. That's that middle. That's that middle that they talk about. That's going to be that's probably going to be the difficult time you go through. But in doing that, when you spend time with God, talk to him, read your word, and all of those things, trust me, I'm telling you, going through them feels so much different. In fact, the faith that you have from spending time with God, it'll just skyrocket. It'll just skyrocket, because now you can realize that inside of these moments, you're okay. He's keeping you. You're fine. It's a little hard, but that's life. Now, would you rather go through something hard with God or go through something hard without him? Trust me, it looks different. Trust me, it feels different. I don't want you to try to test the theory, but if you want to go ahead and be bold, knock yourself out, because you're only going to realize what I'm saying is true. That going through something hard with God and going through something hard without God feels totally different. Psalms 34:4 says, I went to the Lord for help, and he listened. He saved me from all that I fear. Did it say that he took me away from the situation? No. Did it say that he moved the problem out of the way? No. It said he saved me from all that I fear. Now think about that. He saved me from all that I fear. See, because what I interpret that as is, he took it away. He took away the fear. He took away the fear. See, because how do you save yourself from something that you fear? Eliminate the fear. So you can still be in the middle of it, but the fear is gone, so it feels different. Exactly my point. Exactly my point. People, when you're in your seat, in season, you have every cycle of life is a season, and how you carry yourself and how you move in these seasons is detrimental to how your next season comes about. See, because I've been in a season and went about it the exact wrong way, and the harvest didn't come until years and years and years later because of me not paying attention to God and me not listening and me not doing what I was supposed to do, me doing what I wanted to do. And when I tell you a season that I'm pretty much doing a catch up right now because of the life that I lived before. So people, I'm telling you now, if it's the best time now. The best time ain't tomorrow. The best time is right now. Make sure you know what season you're in, y'all. Dash out. Love you.